We'll start with Sunday Night Football for this week. The Bills are 4.5-point favorites on the road against the Atlanta Falcons. We'll start with Sunday Night Football. I'm going to take the Buffalo to cover the spread. I do think it'll be a close game, tight, low-scoring game. Give me the Bills. Let's go to you, Johnny, and then we'll go with Fish. And we'll go to the coin. We'll finish with Errol.
I think it's going to be hard for me to back anything away. I don't like that at all. It's going to be hard for me to say anything about the Bills after a tough loss, but I'm going to go with the Falcons, the home side. Basically looking for a letdown spot with the Bills, and I think the Falcons off a bye might be dangerous.
All right, Wes has arrived. Wes, this is the only primetime game this week, but we're starting with it with the Bills and the Falcons. Bills 4.5-point favorites.
Wait, say that again?
So this is the only primetime game this week. Don't worry, Wes. Bills are 4.5-point favorites on the road at Atlanta. So I went with the Bills to cover. Johnny picked Atlanta to go plus 4.5.
Yeah, so I looked at actually putting cash on that game. I looked at actually putting cash on that game and taking Atlanta at home.
All right.
So the two of you guys went Atlanta at home, 4.5. Kind of hard to argue. I'm going to go Atlanta at home as well. I think the Bills might pull that one out, but it might be a field goal game. They're just not banging on all cylinders right now, especially on the road.
All right.
You got the coin, Joba?
Joba's coin.
Believe it, and I even got it. You know what? I just picked a random one. Honestly, I didn't make this up, and I actually got Nebraska. And I got tails, so I got the Bills.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've got the Billy Bills. I have the Bills winning out against Atlanta.
All right, let's go to the Seahawks at the Jaguars. The Jaguars are 1.5-point favorites. I'm going to go with Seattle here on the road.
I'm going to take Jacksonville. This is like a prime letdown spot, and I understand that. This is prime letdown spot. I'm not sold on Seattle traveling across the country in a game where they're only catching 1.5 points. This is kind of a team where I don't really buy into their offense. Their offense has been really good. I do think Jacksonville is for real this year. I'm going to go against the grain, not take the letdown spot, take Jacksonville. I would probably money line the 1.5 depending on the price, but I do like Jacksonville in the spot.
I'm with Johnny. I'm going to take Jacksonville on this one. Seattle is coming off of a game where a lot of points were scored. Both teams ran up and down the field, and they lost it, and now they're going to travel across the country. The Jacksonville Chiefs game, I'm not saying it because they live in Kansas City, but that Jacksonville Chiefs game with a new head coach kind of had a feel of if they would have lost it in a disappointing fashion, it would have meant something different than what ended up happening, which was they won. They beat the Chiefs. They beat Mahomes. The crowd was involved. It just kind of felt like a new regime type win. Trevor Lawrence, he had a moment. 1.5 just feels like a gift here. On this one, I'm gonna look at taking some plus money and laying probably 5.5.
Interesting. I think I'm into the Seahawks. I really like JSN. I think they just went toe-to-toe with a really good Tampa team. I agree with the travel. I'm a little worried about the travel. I just think Jacksonville's not as good as that record, and I think Seattle's better than their record. I think this is kind of an evening out game here. Give me Seattle.
Ooh, I got the home team, baby.
All right, Joba on the Jags. He's picking the gremlin.
On the Jags.
All right, so let me show you guys
He
something.
hasn't done me well.
I'm going to show you something. See this thing right here? I got a custom-made jersey for this idiot, all right? Him dancing and prancing around with his stupid... First of all, he doesn't even have a touchdown in 5 weeks. And everybody's cheering for this guy like he's the next up-and-coming superstar. Njigba is having a good year. Now, the only reason why Fish is in love with Njigba is because we have a bet with him. But I have a bet with him. I do believe Seattle's going to win this game. I don't think Jacksonville is any good. I know they're 4-1, and everybody's cheering for them, and I think that they're going to compete with Indianapolis in that division. Indianapolis is by far the better team in that division. It's not even an argument. Jacksonville's overrated. I'm going Seattle.
Speedy.
Let's go to the big spread of the week. The Cincinnati Bengals at the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are 14-point favorites. Johnny, I know you were on the Saints when they were 15-point favorites against the Bills a few weeks ago, and you got that one right. I know, Wes, you've been against a lot of double-digit spreads in the past, too. Minus 14 seems like a lot. I'm actually going to take the Bengals to cover the spread.
No question about it. I'm not laying 14 in the NFL, and for me, it's either you're going to take the points or pass on the game in the NFL. The Bengals are actually in a very precarious position. Joe Flacco could be one of the few quarterbacks to ever beat a team twice in the same season with two different teams. I do think that, as crazy as it seems, I do think this is a massive upgrade at the quarterback position for the Bengals. They do have two playmakers. They bring in a guy that is a veteran that will be able to score on this offense. I picked him from one of my fantasy leagues because I have Jamar Chase, so I expect big things from him. 14 points is a lot of points. I do think they hang around. I do think they're going to be in a spot late to win this game. But always take the 14. I'll sprinkle a little bit of action on the money line, but plus 14 for me.
I'm against laying this many points in the NFL. But I am going to lay it in this spot, the 14.5, and a variety of different reasons. The first reason is if you look at the wins that Green Bay has thus far this season, throw out the Colts, because I think the Colts and the Lions are the two best teams that have been on their schedule. But the Colts right now are a very respectable team. That's how they're performing. That was a single-digit victory. But every other win they have on their schedule has been double digits. Double-digit victory against the Lions. Double-digit victory against the Commanders. 9 against the Commanders. They are winning these games big. This is at Lambeau. This is coming off a bye. Green Bay has absolutely no questions on their roster at all. They have a solid coach. You now in Cincinnati, their defense is terrible. There's no debating that. But you now have made a move addressing the fact that you have a disaster at the quarterback position. Flacco's not going to provide any help. Cleveland's roster is better than Cincinnati's, and Flacco couldn't do anything over there. I'm going to lay the 14.5, and I'm going to bite my fist when I do it, but I am going to lay it. This is actually one of the games where I'm going to have some crypto on it.
Crypto, there you go.
I'm not giving 14 points in a million years. I'm the same. I'm going to take the Bengals. What do you got, Joba? It looks like heads, though. So
Because
home.
you need some head at home.
I like we got that last part out. That was very clutch.
I have the Packers.
15.
I don't know if they cover, but I have the Packers winning the game.
Moving on to the Rams, who are 7.5-point favorites on the road against the Ravens.
That went
Still
over
not
like a
sure
fart in
yet on
church.
Lamar Jackson. Did not practice today, but is not officially ruled out yet. Rams 7.5-point favorites on the road. I will take it either way if Lamar Jackson is playing or not, just because I do not trust the Ravens defense.
I gave up the booty there.
This is one of those spots where I will also take the Ravens. It's one of those traveling across the country. You have a team that just got the doors kicked in last week by 30 points against a not very good Houston team. Even if Lamar does not play, I do think Cooper Rush is a serviceable guy. The Ravens are just banged up. I just think this is a bad spot for the Rams. Traveling across the country, laying more than a touchdown. It's going to be one of those sleepy spots. They probably pull it out late. Maybe the Ravens have a chance to go in and tie it or something at the end kind of wonky. I do expect Ravens to kind of get up for this game. Harbaugh is a much better coach than it's been the last couple of weeks. So I'm going to take the +7 as just a play, but it's not going to be a very strong play.
All right, Wes, what do you got? I know you're not a big fan of these big road dogs.
I got Baltimore winning the game outright.
Ooh, all right.
So I'm definitely taking the points. I got Baltimore winning outright. Jonny, I agree with you that Cooper Rush is serviceable, and they're coming off a game where they were embarrassed. This roster got a lot of good things, and Cooper Rush is semi-mobile. It's not Lamar Jackson, but you got what we could argue is the best running back in football. Their wide receiving core is not terrible. Their defense is not going to get embarrassed like that again. But more than anything, I just don't believe in this Rams team. This Rams team, a lot of people are calling for this team to be a deep playoff run. I don't see it. I don't see them being anything but a wild card one and done in the playoffs. That's a different conversation. But I am going to take the 7.5. I am placing a full unit bet on moneyline Ravens here.
I don't really trust that Ravens defense in a million years, but the chance of Lamar Jackson playing tells me it's going to be less than a touchdown. So I'm going to take the Ravens in this one.
Ooh, we got Nebraska. We got tails.
All right, so Java's on the Rams.
On the Rams.
I I'm gonna go. Are they healthy? The Rams? Do they have all their wide receivers?
Pretty much.
Puka.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
Puka's going to try to break records this year.
I'm gonna go Rams. I'm gonna go Rams.
All right. Speaking of two teams that are not very healthy, the 49ers at the Buccaneers, two teams that have a lot of offensive skill players that are injured right now. The Bucs are 3-point favorites at home, and I will take them to cover the spread and win a tight game.
This is one of those smelly games. I'm not going to be on either team. I think the Niners are probably one of the worst 4-1 teams in the league.
I agree.
I don't really believe in them in really all facets of their game. In this spot, I'm probably going to take the Niners. As good as I think the Buccaneers, I think they're much better than the Niners overall. This is the type of game that Baker Mayfield will win game, by a field goal. Their defense has been kind of carved up. It hasn't been as good. It's going to be one of those weird last possession games. I will take the 3.5. I don't like it. Tell you what, it's definitely not in my actual card. But if you're going to bet this game, take the points.
It's really strange that the Niners are they're averaging 298 yards passing a game, which is second most in the entire league, which is wild. But I'm with Johnny. We're agreeing on a lot of things, which is probably very scary. Normally we don't, which is the fun in knowing you. But Tampa was a 1.5 point favorite, and with only 48% of the tickets has moved to 3. I like Tampa at home to lay the 3 points. I trust Baker at this point. I never thought I would say I trust Baker Mayfield, especially anything having to do with Oklahoma. But I trust Baker. I trust that team, that defense, that win that they got on the road. I don't think we're looking at a letdown. Lay the 3.
I'm going with the Bucs. I think they're a significantly better team. I think this is a touchdown game. Give me Tampa.
Ooh,
Trusty coin.
I got heads.
All right, Tampa.
Yeah, I'm going Tampa. I think Tampa is definitely the better team. And Baker Mayfield is one of my favorites, so I'm behind him. So.
All right, before I get to my last guy, I do have to mention, I think between this show and the betting chat, I think it's the first time, Wes, you've mentioned Oklahoma this year, which is surprising. 6 weeks into the college season, or seven weeks into the college season.
No, all I hear about is Penn State. Please.
I'm sure Wes is very happy about that. All the fans up and ride with that.
I want them ranked as high as possible when we beat them. Same thing with the team up north.
I don't think you're going to get that ranking.
All right. No. But we'll finish it off with your team, Wes, the Kansas City Chiefs. That are actually 2.5 point favorites at home against one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NFL so far this year, in the Detroit Lions. And I actually, with all the secondary injuries the Lions have right now, they lost DJ Reed, they lost Teron Arnold, I'm actually going to take the Chiefs to win this game.
Yeah, gotcha. For me, easy. Fade Patty. I'm fading Patty all the way to the bank this year. I think the Lions are actually a really good team. And I think that one loss against the Packers was kind of an outlier week 1. This is a perfect spot to back the Chiefs. And I did it a couple weeks ago. And it kind of didn't work out. It didn't work out, right? I actually faded them again. I'm going to fade them. I do not think they're the same Chiefs team that we're accustomed to seeing. I do think their defense will give up points. I do think the Lions are the much better team at this point. And I'm getting about 2.5 points. I will take them on the money line. They'll plus money for me. This is actually going to be a game. I will fade them in prime time. Give me the Detroit Lions. It's not cold yet. Plenty good football weather in Kansas City right now, so that weather's not going to be a factor at all. Give me Detroit.
All right, well, Wes pick against the Chiefs 2 straight times we've had him on.
Well, I did, and for a lot of reasons, that Johnny mentioned, this is definitely not the same Chiefs team. I've said it before, their problem on defense is their secondary. Their pass rush is all predicated on their ability to cover, and they're trying to they're trying to recover from some attrition in the DB positions. Oddly, you look at the statistics, and the Chiefs are a top 10 offense. And this is the last game that they're going to play without Rashee Rice coming back. We saw what it looks like when Worthy comes back in. Thornton, Mahomes loves Thornton. Who knows where this guy came from? But this is the spot.
Patriots draft pick that Jeff loved.
Mahomo, as we say. That's what I call him.
In today's world, I don't know that you can say that. Do you have an HR department, Speedy?
I don't. I don't know if Joba
I
does.
literally was like, we're going to get canceled before it even
There's
goes.
Dauber in the dirt.
Not a chance.
Andy
Not a
Reid
chance.
is the Chiefs head coach, is like 15-5 coming off the bye. Lay the 2.5 points. I know the world wants to see them choke and lose, and they're done. It's going to take them a second this season. They're going to win the division.
Guys, Errol can't even spell HR. What are we talking about here? It's real crazy to think that the Chiefs
I
are
hope not.
still doing well.
That's called sex.
And they only have Tyquan.
Did you
Jordan
say
and
your
Get
sex
Worthy.
part?
Like you said it, Rashee Rice is next. You know what this means, right? When we get to late in the season and they're going for a playoff spot, they now have receivers that Mahomes can trust as opposed to what he's had in some situations because he had to throw to him the first 6 weeks of the season. I think the Chiefs start winning right now. I really do. I think Chris Jones is going to be really motivated because he embarrassed himself thoroughly, and I'll talk about it later tonight. But it's something that I think this is where we start to see it. So give me the Chiefs.
Chiefs at home, and here we go. Bam. Oh, I also have the Chiefs.
Yo, the Giants are going to beat the Eagles. This is crazy. You see this? They're outplaying them.
Lions.
Am I by myself on the Lions here? I like that. I did see a crazy stat. Speaking of the Lions, I don't know if y'all know this, but I think in like 2 more years, Jared Goff can actually become the winningest quarterback in Detroit. And in about a year and a half, Matt Stafford can become the winningest quarterback for the LA Rams.
Oh, really?
I just think that's a pretty crazy stat considering they had swapped for each other over their career. So
Yeah. I am going NFL, and I actually like the New York Jets getting the 7.5 points against Denver. I like them in this spot. I'm not calling them a great team. I'm not arguing for one roster over the other. I just simply think it's a classic, what both teams are coming off of now, coming against each other. The hook might save us, but I think the Jets got a shot here. I like a lot of dogs in the NFL this week.
I also was really, really high on the Jets this week. I do think it's that overseas game. It's just one of those where you really don't know. The better team typically doesn't show up as much as you'd like them to, so I'm going to take them. I'm going to take the Dolphins. And I'm really high on the Chargers this year, and I was, and they've lost back-to-back games. This is probably the game that they're going to bounce back. However, I do think they're really banged up on both sides of the football, including the offensive line. I do think the Dolphins are kind of in that we need to win now. So I'm gonna take them in a spot again. It's another one of those. We have I think there's like 4 matchups this week where we have a West Coast team traveling to the East Coast in an early time slot. Those are just massive trap games. Give me the Dolphins to cover. They may win outright.
So this is an odd one that I'm going to do because both of these teams suck. Like, they're both broken. They both need different head coaches. They both need different quarterbacks. I'm looking at the Tennessee Raiders game. What I see here is a get-right game for both of their offenses. Neither one of them have very good defenses, although I think the Raiders have a better defense. Tennessee somehow tasted a victory last week, which might give them a little bit of confidence, but this feels like a get-right game for both of the offenses, and I'm going to go over game total 41.5.